DBFL Week 1 recap. We have a new look and feel for the entire season. We're your hosts, the DBFL administration, Sean Leonard, aka Thigh, the commissioner, and Jeremy Roberts, the treasurer. We'll be recapping every single week together in a banter type of setting, just like Get Up or First Take. And if you get lucky enough, maybe you'll be invited on the show. So to kick it off, Jeremy, why don't you give yourself a little introduction? Let the fans know who we're talking to.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Thigh. So I was voted in as the treasurer by the Players Association because my email has finance in it.
Great finance guy.
Very excited to be taking on this role and working hand in hand with Thigh. To start it off, what we're going to do every single week, we're going to go over the biggest winners and the biggest losers, of course. We're also going to be hosting a guest speaker today that will be brought up later today by Mr. Thigh. So, with the biggest winners of the week, we have Prescott's Tots, Mr. Josh Hickey.
Ooh.
It looked like he had a feeling that Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper were going to go off and Kareem him into the first spot of...
I like what you did with the names there. Kind of used everybody in his lineup. I like that.
Yeah, I decided to put a little banter in with these guys. You know, I mean, they really took him over the top and creamed him into the first spot, as I mentioned, with 155.72 points.
Wow.
Mr. Hickey takes week one. Biggest winner. Little round of applause for Mr. Hickey and his victory.
So with being the biggest winner, he gets the payout too, right?
He gets the payout. Yes, that is correct. Thank you, Thigh. He gets the payout of $40 per week. That goes to the highest winner of each week. These will be weekly payouts. As I mentioned, I've said week about 19 times. This is our first one. We apologize for any mistakes. And of course, with the biggest winners, Thigh, what does that bring to us?
We got some biggest losers too somewhere, right?
We do have some biggest losers here. We have Mr. OnlyFans, Stephen Conway.
Wait, who's that? Who's that?
I'm pretty sure it's Dogman. That's his name in the DBFL.
Dogman, okay.
Unfortunately, Josh Allen was just joshing you, Mr. Conway. He's not going to be doing this week in, week out. We cannot have the best quarterback in the AFC East be putting up 17 points and getting absolutely whacked by the Steelers defense. It's an absolute shame. It seems like you were too busy subscribing to little boys on OnlyFans and not doing mock drafts in June like some of us.
Ooh. Yeah,
and with that, I'll pass it over back to Thigh for the next segment.
Thank you, Treasurer. Well, great overview. I appreciate that. Couple tough losses this week, couple tough great wins. I don't think anybody's sticking it out tonight. I think people have already gotten their win. Monday night doesn't really make a difference. I think cooking these young hoes needs 6 points to overcome Jimmy and his team, which they should have no problem with Mark Andrews and the Ravens defense running tonight. So they should have no problem beating Jimmy.
I will say this, Thigh. There is one team out there that does happen to be lower than OnlyFans.
Oh.
3 points below. But he has Lamar Jackson going tonight, so it's very unlikely that he will take that top spot for biggest loser. If that does happen, we will have a special video out to you guys later on this week.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Let's talk a little bit about names. We got a lot of good names this year. We got different name teams from last year. I'm not going to go down the list and say everyone's name, but let's give our top one each. Which name do you like the most, Jerry?
Ooh. I have two up there for my biggest ones that I like, but I got to go the morbid one. Mr. Bali, mixing roofies in your cup.
Oof.
Absolute tremendous name. And Cooper Kupp had a big night last night, so congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper Kupp really showed out. Stafford and Cooper Kupp's connection might be one to watch this year, and watch out for the Super Bowl because they might be in it. I mean, if you're going to ask me about my name that I like the most, I am a huge Nick Chubb fan. And although I'm not a fan of the GM, you know, Munzie isn't the greatest GM. I mean, he drafted hammered this year. I mean, who's going to ask for that to be a GM after that type of thing? But I'm going to have to go with Suck My Chubb as a great name. I mean, Chubb brought me to the promised land last year, and he looked after last night with those 2 touchdowns. Might like you might be bring you to the fucking promised land if I can fucking speak. So great names. I love that.
Would you say that he gave you a small Chubb last night?
I don't know if it was a small one. I would say it was a pretty big one.
Hey, whoa, wait now. Hey,
21 points isn't anything small. You know what I mean? That's tough to overcome. All right, let's run through some quick injuries before we decide to bring in GM Hickey. A couple injuries yesterday really damaged some teams off the get-go. We have Mostert going down in the IR for 8 weeks. A little bit of a blow to Leonard's team, but I'll tell you right now, he is not a one-guy ended. His team is stacked, one. His team has depth, two. And I'll tell you right now, his second flex player that's ready to go in is, I think he scored 19 points yesterday. Mike Williams, anybody heard of him? Yeah, you probably heard of him like maybe 2 or 3 years ago when he was actually pretty good. Yesterday he kind of showed out.
The three-headed dragon right there.
Say again?
Sounds like the three-headed dragon of a team.
I mean, hey, you got
Triple
Ridley,
threat.
you got Montgomery, you got Cook, you got Mike Williams. You might have 4 heads at that point.
It's a good team.
And great, yeah. I think with that, let's bring in Hickey. Let's talk to him a little bit, see what's going on. So yeah, what we're going to decide to do on this show as it progresses is we're going to start to invite some of the GMs to come in and talk about their teams. And here we have it. Hickey is going to join us, and there he is. Welcome, GM Hickey. How are you?
Gentlemen, pleasure to be here with you both.
Glad you can make it today. We're very, very excited to see you talk about your team, the stack you got going on, a little bit about your draft strategy in the past, and just talk about the upcoming season and how confident you are in your team.
Yes, sir. I got to tell you, starting 0-5 last year, it's good to start this year with a W. The boys fought hard, and when you're coming against somebody like Bill week 1, you got to bring your best, and we did.
Hey, blankenship happens, right?
Absolutely it does. And I got to tell you, that Thursday night game starting off with Dak and Amari is exactly what this team needed. Nice kick in the ass to start, and the boys compounded from there, and putting up 155 is quite the way to start.
It is quite the way. It is definitely quite the way. You definitely set the bar pretty high for highest winners. So thank you for that, for the rest of the league, very much.
Yeah, Hickey.
No, absolutely.
On that note of Amari Cooper and Dak, did you expect them to put up about 70 points apiece between them both on the first game of the season? Do you expect this to happen every game of the season, or do you think this is more of a fluke, one-off type of scenario where it may not happen again?
Yeah, Sean, I got to tell you, that's a great question. You never expect guys to go off like that, right? You can't expect it from them. But I got to tell you, Dallas's offense, Dak's coming for blood this year. So you knew that they were going to spread it around. That's why I liked Amari in my pre-draft scouting. I like CeeDee Lamb as well. I figured Zeke will have a better year. I think it was a little tough for him to start. But, yeah, Dallas is going to put up offense. Their defense is not good, and they're going to have to sling it around the field, and I'm taking full advantage of it right now.
I mean, Amari did call himself the best receiver in the league to begin the season, and he sure did put on a show for us week 1. Hickey, talking a little bit about your draft strategy, can you give me a little bit of background, or me, myself, and the treasurer here, about why you drafted Najee Harris with your first pick, kind of reaching in that second-hand string of running backs, and then maybe talk about the number of touches he got in game 1.
Sure. Well, the Steelers, when they have a bell cow, like they did with Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, yeah. Can't forget. Won't forget that guy.
They utilize him. So I knew going into the draft that I was picking 9. So I was going to be right around that Najee Chubb area. But I also love what Cleveland does with Kareem Hunt. He's too good to keep off the field.
Chubb, though.
Yeah. And I know, listen, Chubb's a great back, but he doesn't catch the ball that much out of the backfield. And as you saw with the Steelers, Najee started every offensive set. They're going to use him. They're going to utilize him. He's going to get better each game. Buffalo's got a good defensive front, so it was tough for him to get going. But I knew if I could lock in a guy that was at least going to get as many targets as anybody else in the league, that was going to free me up to then go on and get some good wide receivers and get some depth there, which, having flex with Adam Thielen really does help.
That's one thing I wanted to touch upon is the Steelers in general.
Sure.
Get away from fantasy
Big
football.
Ben, huh?
And that you're
Touchy
a Steelers
subject.
fan. You're from the area. Two-part question. Tell me what you think of the game yesterday. And on top of that, do you think that the Steelers are going to be as efficient as they were in week 1 against Mr. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills?
Our defense is something special. It was last year, really. That's why we started out 11-0. And then Devin Bush went down, Bud Dupree went down. And, all of a sudden the Steelers weren't any good. And that's just not the case. The fact is we had a lot of injuries, and we're getting healthy. Stephon Tuitt, one of our best interior defensive linemen in the NFL, isn't even playing the first 3 games. So I expect the Steelers to get better. That was Matt Canada's first game on the offense, and it was not good. Ben looked a little old to start.
I hope we bring back the boot, though. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, the boot I like. I think that they're going to start getting some better run schemes. We still have 2 offensive linemen that are out, a couple rookies starting, but I expect them to be better. But I got to tell you, it's a tough division. Cleveland's fantastic. Even though Baltimore lost running backs, they're still really good. I got to tell you, Burrow looked fantastic as well. So it's a tough division, but with this defense, we can go far. I think we're one of the few defenses that can rush forward, get to the passer, and have the ability to cover on the back end to take down somebody like Kansas City. So I like our odds. Wasn't a perfect game, but always better to be 1-0 than 0-1.
Well said. I mean, come on now. Being at the top of the list at the first game of the week won't set you straight for the season, but it's sure going to put you in a good place come season end. I'll tell you that much.
Yes, sir.
Well, Hickey, I appreciate all the time you've given us today, and we appreciate you jumping on the show. Anything else you want to elaborate on? You're speaking on national TV right now. So if there's anything else you want to give out to somebody, you want to diss a GM, you want to say something that's going to create some banter, please, the floor is all yours.
No, I mean, listen, you know me. I respect everybody in this league, and to take down an opponent like Bill in week 1 is going to give this boys confidence. But we got a tough matchup. We're going against Muncie. He's always got a good team, and week 1 a little lackluster, so I know he's going to be ready to bounce back. And I'm just honored to be here. Be on this program. Huge fan of you two both, and I look forward to being back on here in coming weeks.
Thank you so much, GM.
All right, guys, take it easy now.
Have a good one. Well, thank you. That was a great recap by GM Hickey. I can't believe he respects everyone. Who the fuck respects Keogh? GM Keogh? Come on.
There's a lot of people I don't respect in this league.
I'm not too far behind you, and Keogh's on the top of my list of people I don't respect.
Hear that, Debo?
Debo. Well, Jerry, I think this is a great first episode. I appreciate you jumping on. I think we're going to start to get better on these things as we progress through the weeks coming up. And maybe we get a second episode in every week to figure out maybe with the upcoming week to start it on Thursdays as well. We'll talk about it. We'll see what's going to go on. We'll see if we can get the airtime. I'm sure the viewership is going to be through the fucking roof.
We will also be opening up a Dropbox for all the Players Association for any segments that they want to cover. We will not be dropping anything. We will only be adding on your request and also by the president and the co-president of the DBFL. But I think it was a good first step, Slim. I think it was a good one.
You and me both. All right, brother. Hey, I appreciate you big time. Say again?
We look spiffy.
Oh, we look amazing. Oh, you know what we're forgetting?
Oh. We
have a brand new sponsorship that we signed to begin 2021. And we didn't even tell them.
This at 4:35. I think we signed it at 4:32.
It was an unbelievable deal. I'll tell you right now, the boys are covered for life. They want to get on something with 2 wheels. Let me tell you something. 2 wheels, you got you covered. We've signed a new deal with Suzuki. Specifically, the bike of the DBFL is the Gladius.
Yeah.
The Gladius.
Not only the Gladius, the King Gladius.
The official bike of the DBFL is the Suzuki Gladius. Great bike to ride. If you have one, it's great. If you don't have one, go out there, get it. Use a discount code from your friends at the DBFL Administration Office, DBFL Commissioner for Life, #Thigh, and you're going to get yourself a 20% off coupon for that bike right there, brother. Let me tell you something. That bike is a fun thing to ride, all right? Be safe out there. Get your helmets. Stay safe. Keep playing. Keep your players safe. And again, Jerry, great talking to you.
You as well. Peace out, people.